On May 15th, 2026, Drake put out Iceman, the album everyone has been waiting for, along with a surprise release of 2 other albums, Habibti and Maid of Honor. People were waiting to see if Drake was going to respond to the people he was feuding with, especially Kendrick Lamar, and it's probably not surprising that he did. It seems he had a lot to say, and I'm going to go through the album from top to bottom, pointing out which lines are aimed at who. I've covered Drake's beef with most of these rappers previously on the channel, so if you've seen those, you can consider this a follow-up, but I will be providing context for the newcomers as well. Keep in mind that this isn't a review of the album, but I will be sharing some of my opinions on it while I'm at it. Let's get into it. The first song is Make Them Cry, which is also the first of the Make Them series of songs on the album. He talks about responding to the disses aimed at him with the lines, "Feel like 40 won't even listen to my words when he knows I'm in a load of trouble. I'm in the cut just loading rebuttals, and I got a bunch of hits on my hand. See the swollen knuckles? I try to tell him it's working out for me now. He say that show your muscles, prove to me that you're still as strong when it's only us two." 40 is Drake's longtime friend and producer, and the swollen knuckles line is a double entendre, meaning he's been putting out hit songs and also he's been involved in multiple rap beefs as well, which involve lyrical punches. Then Drake makes a mention of the 2024 feud with the lines, "What died back in 2024 was a big piece, so it's like this shit is me, but it isn't me. Y'all keep on asking me what it did to me. That's what it did to me. When I dig deep, they say dig deeper. Tell us how it felt to meet the Grim Reaper. This album better have some big features. Well, sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm all alone for my mental, and I've been trying to end so many people, I almost forgot the intro." The Grim Reaper line is a reference to how some people were saying that Drake's career might be dead because of the beef with Kendrick. He contradicts himself, however, with the line about having no big features on the album, as later on in the album, Future and 21 Savage are featured on a song each. To be fair, maybe the song was recorded before Drake decided to get the 2 of them on a song, but if that is the case, he could have went back and edited that line out of the song. Later on in the verse, he has the lines, "I put the man in manipulation when I pay your rent, and that is an obligation to our attachment. Then I sprinkle in a little Mercedes in fashion." Those lines are seen by some as a shot at Texas rapper Sauce Walka, as Kylie Lawson, the mother of one of Sauce Walka's children, made a claim that Sauce wrecked her Maybach because Drake bought it for her, and that she and Drake were romantically involved back in 2024. Later on in the album, Drake has some similar lines as well, which gives more credence to them being aimed at Sauce Walka. Later on in the song, Drake again makes a mention of the beef with the lines, "Niggas wanna talk about a battle, I'm battling patience. Nigga, I battle frustration. I'm about to turn 40, dog, I'm battling aging. I'm battling the fact that the album ain't even dropped and already they asses complaining. Fuck it, I'll battle the label. Fuck it, I'll battle the majors. I'll battle the stations till my ass is back in rotation." Battling the label is a reference to the lawsuit he has against Universal Music Group, or UMG, which is one of the big 3 record labels. The next song on the track list is Dust. Let's get into it. The chorus of the song sees Drake taking shots at someone by telling them to blow the dust off their plaques and that he doesn't remember their raps. This can be seen as a shot at a few rappers, but considering his main opponent has been Kendrick, the general consensus is that it's aimed at him. Drake then sends a shot at everyone who's against him with the lines, "If it's up to me, I get everyone hit. I get everyone lined up. If it's up to me, I've been clocking you pussies, man. Everyone's time is up. If it's up to me, if it's up to me, if it's up to me, then you all on a list, man. Everyone's signed up. If it's up to me, it's already made. I ain't making my mind up. If it wasn't for me reaching my hand, you'd never have climbed up." While Drake and Kendrick were putting out diss tracks, others jumped in dissing Drake as well, like Rick Ross and A$AP Rocky, so it would be pretty clear Drake is taking aim at all of them. Also, Drake has helped most of them in one way or another, like bringing Rocky and Kendrick on his Club Paradise tour, or the multiple songs he's made with Rick Ross. Later on in the song, he makes another reference to the lawsuit with the lines, "I'm a corporate America hit survivor, got a real big heart, I'm a fucked up guy though. Those aren't my haters, those are my secret admirers." The corporate America hit is a reference to Kendrick's hit single, Not Like Us, which was a diss track to Drake and his allegations that UMG conspired against him by promoting Not Like Us so heavily. Track 3 is Whisper My Name. Drake starts his first verse off making a reference to the beef of Kendrick with the lines, Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, the dustiest niggas been fucking with us. Am I your GOAT? Well, probably not. I probably was, but you probably forgot. On the song First Person Shooter, Drake had lines about being the GOAT, which means the greatest of all time, and J. Cole has a line talking about the big three being himself, Kendrick, and Drake. Kendrick then responded on Like That, saying that there's no big three. Drake then appears to send a shot at Playboy Cardi with the lines, "Baby boy, please, I heard what you said to little bro about me, yeah, and when you run into the Iceman, what you gonna do except freeze? You not about to squeeze, you not in the streets." Cardi has a song called I See You Baby Boy on his album titled Music, which was released in 2025. Also, that album features Kendrick Lamar on multiple songs as well as The Weeknd, both of whom Drake obviously has beef with. On top of the fact that Cardi is signed to A$AP Rocky's AWGE label, and they have been close with each other as well. Then he takes a jab at people taking economy flights with the lines, "If I'm lying, I'm flying economy, give me a motherfucking seat. If I'm lying, I'm flying economy, I bet I know who I see." In June 2024, Ye and his wife Bianca were spotted in economy seats on a flight to Japan, and considering their history of being cool on and off again, this is likely aimed at Ye in particular, but could be other artists too. He starts off his second verse with what appears to be a shot at J. Cole with the lines, "I'm doing my big one, you doing a little one. What kind of man are you? A middle one." In 2019, J. Cole released a song titled Middle Child, which was featured on the compilation album Revenge of the Dreamers 3. Also, J. Cole was a middleman of sorts in the beef between Drake and Kendrick, as he went on record to say that he's friends with both of them. Then he has the lines, "This ain't fixable smoke when you see us, stop sitting with Farrakhan, nigga, this shit like the bag that you bring on the plane, it's gonna carry on." That of course is a reference to the people he's beefing with, and Minister Louis Farrakhan has a history of helping people to squash rap beefs. He ends the verse with a subtle jab at Jay-Z with the lines, "You niggas be hitting the net for some love, you a tennis ball, I'll take 500K not the dinner, I never could learn shit from none of y'all." That is a callback to the viral hypothetical of getting to have dinner with Jay-Z or getting $500,000. So Drake is here saying he'd take the $500,000 because the dinner with Jay-Z isn't worth it to him. However, these lines go against what Drake has said years ago about looking up to Jay and having learned a lot from him.
He's definitely one of my favorite rappers and like one of my favorite people, period. So it's tough not to want to like just go off
just
and
rap.
give people those moments. Yeah, that's
right.
what I want to do is just rap.
So you have like built a nice relationship with him.
I mean, yeah, I think like one of the strongest, I think, if not the strongest.
Of all the other rappers?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Who knew?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's like he's just like an incredible mentor to me and gives me great guidance and is very, very supportive.
The next song on the album is Janice STFU, and again he's sending shots at someone. The intended target of this song has been debated a bit. Some people say that Janice is Joe Budden, as on an episode of the Joe Budden podcast, Joe has said that if he was the white woman, his name would be Janice.
But anyway, they pulled up an old clip of when Ice and Ish first got here and we was all talking shit. And if I remember right, the context of the conversation was when I want to be a Karen.
Okay.
Sometimes being a Karen is all right.
Yeah.
So what is my white woman name? Like, what am I calling it when I'm doing it?
Okay.
And I said mine was Janice.
Okay.
Considering the beef they had in the past, this is quite plausible. Remember how I mentioned earlier that Drake makes another mention of a Maybach later in the album? Well, it's on the chorus of this song, so again it seems to be a subliminal shot at Sauce Walka. Speaking of subliminals, Drake starts the first verse off with the lines, "Buried alive, someone come dig me up. If I call up your shorty right now, she picking up. Yeah, you boys got big off my name, that's big enough. We know how you OGs rockin' already, my nigga, the jig is up." The Buried Alive line is a reference to the song Buried Alive interlude from his album Take Care, which was a song by Kendrick, and the line about OGs rockin' is a reference to Jay-Z as he says, "The jig is up," and Jay-Z has often referred to himself as Jigga. On the second verse, Drake appears to take shots at Kendrick again with the lines, White kids listen to you cause they feel some guilt and that's how your soul gets fulfilled. Handing out turkeys on camera inside of your hood, then you go back to the hills. How many houses you build? How many souls did you heal off the back of your deal? Difference between niggas getting you out of your deal and letting you out of your deal. The white kids line is a reference to how Kendrick has white fans, and according to Drake, they listen to Kendrick's music because they have white guilt, which to me is probably one of the most ridiculous bars about Kendrick throughout this whole album. The line about a deal is a reference to how Kendrick left Top Dog Entertainment, or TDE, in 2022, and how Drake is in litigation with UMG and trying to get off the label. Kendrick seems to have been let out with no hard feelings while Drake is having to fight for it. Then Drake takes another shot at Sauce Walka with the lines, "Tricking it off on her, paying her bill, that's just how I do the sauce and the spill." Sauce Walka has an album called Drill Spill, and when you put it together with the Maybach lines, it's all a lot more clear who the subliminal is aimed at. The next song on the album is Ran to Atlanta. This title is terribly ironic if you've ever listened to Kendrick's song Not Like Us, as it's a reference to his third verse. He took shots at Drake for running to Atlanta for features and the like, as he mentions rappers like Young Thug, Lil Baby, and Future, who have all done songs with Drake. Doing this song with Future, one of the biggest rappers from Atlanta, is essentially proving Kendrick's point in the verse, but also shows the reconciliation between Future and Drake as well. Drake makes a veiled diss on his last verse with the lines, "Fuck you, pussy, but shout out your neighborhood. I get mentioned a lot by a bunch of people that I wish I never met. We're sharing women that are already fucked at the height of my success. All you pussy boys losing it, and you need to take meds." The line about sharing women could be a reference to A$AP Rocky and Rihanna, as Drake was with her years before Rocky. But the line about medication seems to be a shot at Ye, who was well known for having bipolar disorder, and there were also rumors that Drake had been with Kim Kardashian at some point as well. Either way, he's once again mentioning someone's woman, in typical Drake fashion. On to the next track, Shabang. Drake has another reference to the beef with Kendrick with the lines, "Where's the beef? It's cooked. Where's the boy? He's booked. Don't even recognize none of these names at the top of the charts. I looked. Am I upset? A bit. Last one you dropped was shit. I did press play on that hoe. Mid, skip, skip." Kendrick released the album GNX in November 2024, and A$AP Rocky released the album Don't Be Dumb in January 2026, so take your pick at which rapper he was talking about with these lines, or it might very well be both of them. Quavo from the Migos is featured on the song doing ad-libs, and he's from Georgia too, which makes the placement of this song pretty funny given it follows directly after Ran to Atlanta. I will say the song overall is one of my favorites from the album though, while Ran to Atlanta is honestly one of the worst ones on the album. Next up is Make Them Pay, the second track of the Make Them series. Drake makes another mention of his beef with Kendrick with the lines, "And ain't no passes for you crip walking, all of that diss talking, kiddo, beat it. I'm supposed to be my brother's keeper, so don't make us hit another buzzer beater, and don't be suddenly eager to hit me up and have no discussions either." The buzzer beater is a basketball reference, and Drake has sent shots at both LeBron James and DeMar DeRozan on this album. The crip walking is a reference to all the dancing people were doing to Kendrick's track Not Like Us, like for example Serena Williams doing it at the Super Bowl halftime show. Drake then takes aim at J. Cole with the lines, "My niggas run a phone soon as you check into prison. Your niggas run and talk to Hov for a second opinion. Me, I stood 10 T's and accepted the mission, cause I'd rather death than submission. How can you press the ignition and let the memories of the past affect your decision? I love you cause of the history, but if we being real, I could never forgive you. And you never called me back, but destiny's written for real." J. Cole put out the song 7-Minute Drill, dissing Kendrick back in April 2024, but he apologized to Kendrick 2 days later during Dreamville Festival, and the mention of Jay-Z is a reference to how J. Cole used to be signed to Roc Nation. Drake continues on with the Cole and Kendrick mention and then goes on to take aim at Pharrell with the lines, Fuck a big three anyway, there was too many chefs in the kitchen, it was a mess to begin with. Yeah, and now they got a new goat and we gonna test the position. Damn, who is this guy for real? I guess the magician. 100 million streams vanished, no one got questions for niggas? Well, maybe I'm best as the villain, cause I got real numbers on niggas who say they got billions. I got all the chains that they ever repped in Virginia. I got niggas prized possessions, I get possessive on niggas. The big three was Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole, but Drake is taking a page out of Kendrick's book and also dismantling the big three himself, and the chains Drake are talking about formerly belonged to Pharrell. Then Drake takes aim at Rick Ross and DJ Khaled with the lines, "Dog, I was Aiden Ross's streams before Aiden Ross had ever streamed. And Khaled, you know what I mean, the beef was fully live, you went halal and got on your deen, and your people are still waiting for a free Palestine, but apparently everything isn't black and white and red and green. Damn, I'm seeing everyone's true colors for real, I'm sensing a theme." Aiden Ross is a well-known streamer who Drake has live streamed with before, and that's a double entendre for him providing Rick Ross with aid by collaborating with him on songs. The Drake and Ross beef I've covered in the past as well, so check that out for more details on their history. Lines about DJ Khaled are likely due to Khaled not openly showing support for Drake while multiple people were dissing him, despite the fact that Drake has often featured on songs for Khaled. The colors he mentions are a reference to the Palestinian flag, and DJ Khaled is Palestinian himself and has been called out online for not showing support for Palestine either. Fitting with the name of the song, Make Them Pay, is one of the tracks that sees Drake taking the most shots at people on the album. The next song on the album is Burning Bridges. On the chorus, Drake says, "I put you niggas through the ringer. Yeah, you're getting bodied by a singing nigga. Yeah, I'm with Noel like I'm Kris Kringle. Yeah, your baby mama ain't even post your single. Damn, where she at?" Bodied by a Singing Nigga is a callback to Drake's 2015 hit single Back to Back, which was a diss track aimed at Meek Mill. The baby mother in question would seem to be Rihanna given her history with Drake, and as I mentioned a minute ago, Rocky had just put out his album a few months before Drake released Iceman. Then on the second verse, Drake has the lines, "Look in the mirror, see where talking gets you. Yeah, you should be swimming with the fucking fishes, but I still got love for your missus and a sister. So I told Capo we can't burn them bridges. Yeah, you saw my brother, you was trying to fix it. Now you drop your album and you back dissing." On a few songs from Rocky's album Don't Be Dumb, he had lines that could easily be interpreted as disses to Drake, so these lines are in response to that. I found this track humorous, as according to Drake, it seems that the mother of your children posting your single is the measure of love, not being together and having multiple children. It comes across terribly bitter, but it is a bit catchy too. The next song is National Treasures. The majority of this song is Drake taking shots at DeMar DeRozan, who used to play for the Toronto Raptors but got traded after 9 seasons. Like Kendrick, he's also from Compton, California, and he was in the Not Like Us video as well as Kendrick's pop-out show. And as you can probably tell by now, a common theme on this album is Drake feeling betrayed by friends because of situations like that. Throughout the track, he sends a bunch of shots at DeRozan, but on the chorus after the beat switch, he aims at both Kendrick and DeRozan with the lines, "Boy gotta dip out the 6, run out the 6, just like you did. Why was TPS at my crib until you boys slid? It is what it is." Dipping and running out the 6 is a reference to how Kendrick had 2 shows in Toronto in 2025 during his Grand National tour with SZA, and how he left Toronto quickly after the show. TPS is Toronto Police Service, so Drake is saying that the police were camping outside his house until Kendrick was safely out of Toronto in case Drake tried to do anything. The next track is Bees on the Table. The title is a reference to how Drake is allegedly getting a new deal that's worth at least $1 billion. He comes out the gate on this one, taking shots at his enemies with the lines, "You pussies could never get back with the gang. Go to the hotel right after your game, or come to your show and get back on the plane." The game, of course, is once again DeMar DeRozan, and the show is another reference to Kendrick. He takes aim at the people that he feels betrayed him again with the lines, "The messages you about to send on the 16th, please don't hit send on none of that. There's no need to check where the temperature is, you know what it is if you double back. Should've put another blade in my back, should've stood over and double tapped." The 16th is a reference to how the album was released on May 15th, so on the 16th, people would be reaching out to him. The temperature is a reference to how the album is called Iceman and how he's taken on a colder demeanor thanks to the people who are no longer on his side, which according to the previous lines might reach out to him because he dropped a new album. Later on in the song, he brings up the lawsuit against UMG again with the lines, "Come to the 6 and we dipping you boys like a christening. Kevin Hart liquor, he shook, I'ma put you in sticky predicaments. Killy might come take a stick off a pussy like they transitioning. I'm fighting the man, not suing the rapper, you boys is not listening." The rapper here would be Kendrick, of course, as Not Like Us is the main song named in the lawsuit, and Drake is claiming that his lawsuit is aimed at UMG, not Kendrick, but essentially a narrative is being spun. The line about Kevin Hart and a sticky predicament seems to be a reference to a story Kevin told about how he once accidentally spilled pineapple juice on Jay and Beyonce while they were at a club.
I go, oh man, I go, J and B, let me go say hi. Yeah. So I go over there to this section, see Jay, what's up, man? Kev, what's going on? Oh, good to see you. A little chat. I said, dude, I just want to come say what's up. I ain't gonna crowd your area, I'm gonna go back. I got people with me. He said, get a drink, man. You ain't gonna have a drink with me? I said, yeah, I'll go get a drink. He said,
you hang with him normally?
Look, Jimmy, I'm a big deal, okay? So I'm like, you know, I go, so I tell Jay, I said, yeah, you know what? I'll get a drink, man. He said, what you want? And I go to point to what I wanted, and there's a canister of pineapple juice sitting this high. I knocked it over, right? It said, bow. But the way it fell like this, and it fell off the table, it didn't roll off. It fell and just kept pouring out. Jay-Z was sitting right here. It was just pouring on his lap. So neither one of us thought to pick it up and stop it.
Yeah.
He's looking at me, and I'm looking at the pineapple juice flavor. So he goes, are you kidding me, Kev? Are you kidding me? And I'm like, what you want me to do, man? Yeah. Like it's out. So I'm thinking this is the worst of it. I don't know where Beyonce popped out from, but somehow her feet popped out from like underneath him. She was like, Jay, what's all this on my feet? And Jay never broke his stare. He looks at me, you got it on my wife, Kev? So,
you like the Kool-Aid, man. He was about to be like, oh yeah.
So now like I'm trying to play it cool, but I'm nervous, I'm sweating.
Next up is the track, What Did I Miss? This was released in July 2025, almost a year before the album was released, and I covered it in a previous video, so I'm going to leave a link to that video and move on to the next song, Plot Twist. The title is a reference to the Instagram account named Plot Twist, which is allegedly owned by Drake. He starts his first verse off making a reference to The Weeknd with the lines, October's Own is the label, 7-figure deal was a fable, 8-figure bought out the neighbors, 9 figures turned into tables, you pussy boy better be ready and able, I'm coming. Abel is The Weeknd's first name, and if you remember Drake's songs Push Ups and Family Matters, he sent shots at The Weeknd on both. The Weeknd featured on Metro Boomin and Future's albums We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You, and he also made an appearance at Kendrick's Pop-Out show. Speaking of Metro Boomin, he sends a jab at him as well later in that verse with the lines, I'll be the producer like what's the BPM, I cannot de-escalate things if we see them. In 2024, Metro put out a song called BBL Drizzy, BPM 150, which of course was aimed at Drake. This track is a bit lighter on the subs, but it's one of the better songs on the album to me. Next up is the track Too Hard for the Radio. The title comes from Bay Area rapper Mac Dre's song Too Hard for the Fucking Radio, and Drake interpolates lines from the song as well. On the first verse, he has the lines, got an Oakland show tonight, baby, my young boys from the yacht going crazy. On Not Like Us, Kendrick has the lines, you think the Bay gonna let you disrespect Pac, nigga? I think that Oakland show gonna be your last stop, nigga. So Drake is clearly saying that he has no issue doing a show in Oakland, which is also where Mac Dre was born, and Yacht is a nickname for the city of Antioch in the East Bay. Then on the second verse, Drake takes aim at DJ Mustard with the lines, Mustard heard about us, got to catch up to the slaps, you ain't had one since me and YG rapped. Facts, 900 million for the tracks, Rack City bitch, we remember that. Damn, you should try and get back to that. This new shit, you could've kept it on the laugh fact. DJ Mustard is involved, of course, for being the producer for Not Like Us and making an appearance at the Pop-Out show and the Super Bowl halftime performance as well. DJ Mustard also produced the track Rack City, which was a song by Tyga, who was Drake's label mate on Young Money, and Mustard also produced the song Who Do You Love, the YG song featuring Drake. And Laugh Fact is short for Laugh Factory, which is a comedy club chain. Drake finishes up his verse taking aim at Jay-Z and Pusha T with the lines, "Damn, y'all was really island hopping back then, huh? Now your names got redacted. Yeah, now a nigga got a fact check. What? Yeah, and I'm on the west like the Pac-10. Yeah, I'm fucking power couples up. Yeah, acting like you love marrying your wife. You boys need to worry about a jury in your life." The island hopping and jury are a reference to the two being mentioned in the Epstein files. Jay and Push were indeed mentioned, but only as a tip to the FBI. Next up is the track Make Them Remember, the third of the Make Them tracks, and the song with the most lines to go over in this video. This track was released 2 days before the album, and I actually heard it by chance as I was sitting in the car and it happened to come on the radio. It initially was being called 1 AM in Albany, but when the album was released, it was on there with this new title. I immediately picked up on a bunch of bars aimed at Kendrick and others. The song is full of them, so let's break it down. In the intro, Drake talks about people copping please and talking about owl emoji DMs, which of course is a reference to an owl being the logo for the label OVO. Early on in the verse, he refutes losing the beef with Kendrick with the lines, "It feels like I gotta lie to even tie, so I don't even know if these are wins or not based on what's suitable now. You don't even hear me though, you put that jacket on anybody, you're funeral bound. But like the goalpost, I'm out here just moving around. They say conclusions were drawn, but I'm in super denial. What is a loss? I'll be damned if I'm losing it now." Wins or not is a double entendre, as it sounds like wins or not, which is a kind of knot for a necktie, and that is a whole reference to the lawsuit with UMG, as obviously you'd wear a suit to court. And of course, he's in denial about losing the beef to Kendrick, which seems pretty obvious based on everything he's been saying on this album. The jacket is a reference to Kendrick, inferring that Drake and OVO members are sexual predators on Not Like Us. Then he makes a subtle reference to J. Cole with the lines, "I'm the golden goose shaking things up at Lucian's house. I'm in the battlefield really putting boots to the ground." Golden Goose Freestyle is the name of a track J. Cole has on his mixtape Birthday Blizzard 26, which was released in January 2026, and on that track he has the lines, "For crumbs, dumb niggas sold their soul to Lucian, universal distribution, but I own the music." So Drake is comparing himself to the Golden Goose from Fairy Tales by saying that he makes a lot of money for UMG, and again throwing a jab at J. Cole for apologizing to Kendrick and getting out of the rap battle while he stayed in it. Then Drake goes on to call out Kendrick Lamar and Dr. Dre for Dre's domestic violence history with the lines, "A booster seat for yourselves and the lies that you tell. If Drake took out the AK, maybe he'd be in jail, just based off the name that it spells. What they say they just smelled, I heard they got special places in hell for niggas joke about evil when they did it themselves." If you remove the AK from Drake, it spells Dre, who has been a supporter of Kendrick as they have songs together, and Kendrick was signed to his record label Aftermath for years. And of course, AK is short for AK-47, which is a gun that was developed in the Soviet Union. On top of that, AK is short for Academics, who is a YouTuber and one of Drake's biggest supporters. The booster line is yet another jab at Kendrick's height, as he's been doing throughout their beef. Drake then switches his aim from Kendrick to LeBron James with the lines, "Convenient amnesia from all you ballerinas, it doesn't alter what you said or how it made us see you. I shouldn't even be shocked to see you in that arena because you always made your career off of switching teams up." Those lines are a reference to LeBron making an appearance at Kendrick's Pop-Out show and how LeBron has switched teams during his NBA career rather than staying with one. Also, it could be a reference to how DeMar DeRozan has been on a few different teams now as well. Drake then continues on with the lines, "Please stop asking about what's going on with 23andMe. I'm a real nigga and he's not. It's in my DNA. I could have fell back like the married rapper, but we engaged. I told y'all I'm settled in my evil ways. These niggas thinking that the spot is up for grabs, they'll never see the day. to be the number one, you gotta lead the way, and to hold something over my head forever, you're still a couple feet away. Your insecurities keep spanning season to season like you Issa Rae. The line about 23andMe and his DNA is a reference to LeBron's jersey number and the company that does DNA testing. On top of that, DNA is also the name of the hit single by Kendrick Lamar from his Damn album. The married rapper in this instance is another shot at J. Cole for backing out of the beef, and the line about being a couple feet away is yet another shot at Kendrick for his height. He then goes on to make a callback to Not Like Us again with the lines, plot twist, the owl never sees the cage, the owl only wakes up to seize the day. Talking about hiding the Bible, maybe y'all should read a page, iced out crosses on their necks, thinking Jesus saves. In the Not Like Us video, there's a scene where Kendrick is standing in front of a cage with an owl in it, which of course is a metaphor for Drake and his label. Drake then has the lines, as for those other suckers that's tucked away, I'm down to put bills on their face, no wonder why they've been ducking Drake. Bills on their face, no wonder why they've been ducking Drake. Let's not even take it to that other place, you boys too pussy like double dates, running out the 6 like you want a race. There's some wordplay here with ducks and bills, as Kendrick's last name is Duckworth. The beak of a duck is often called a bill. A bill is also currency, and to duck means to dodge or avoid. So basically, Drake is saying that he can afford to put money on somebody's head and that everybody is ducking or dodging him pretty much. Before the song is finished, he decides to take a shot at Joe Budden as well with the lines, who knows which of his bubble-shaped things I must have ushered through the double gate, showed her the time of her life while broski having stomach aches, hearing about good times at Lover's Lake and send her back to you while you sleepwalking naked in another state. You'll live to see another day, and even if you don't, it's just another day. We ain't crying for your punk ass anyway. I detailed the beef between Drake and Joe Budden on a previous video, so check that one out for the details. But in 2024, Joe Budden was charged with lewdness because he was caught on camera nude in front of his neighbor's door. However, he said that he was sleepwalking, hence the line about sleepwalking naked in another state. Then Drake aims at Kendrick for his height again with the lines, scrimmaging with scrubs for the love of the game cause I'm unamused and all the goats are middle-aged and Muggsy Bogues dunked for once, even I'm a bit amazed. Yeah, someone give the kid a raise. What is it, the braids? Even when I cut them, I could never fade. The middle-aged goats could be a subtle jab at rappers like Jay-Z and Pusha T, again, who are several years older than him. Muggsy Bogues is a former NBA player who has held the record for being the shortest player in the NBA. So Drake is again calling Kendrick short, and the braids line is a callback to the line Kendrick had on Euphoria. Drake had plenty of shots to fire on this song, and to me it's also one of the best ones on the album. The next song is Lil Birdie, but I don't have much to say about it within the context of this video, as it's not really a diss track aimed at any of these rappers, and it's aimed at a woman he used to be with. Once again, this isn't a review of the album overall, but this is another track that I like outside of the high-pitched effect Drake has on his voice on the song. Following that is the track Don't Worry. Just like the previous song, it doesn't have much of a diss either, but there is something to mention. In the chorus of the song, he talks about wanting to see someone struggle financially. This of course can be taken as a shot at pretty much anyone that he's beefing with. Some say it's aimed at Sauce Walka in particular, especially due to the recent dissing that has gone on between the two. Next up is the track Firm Friends, which as you can probably tell by the title, sees Drake again talking about his friendships. He starts the first verse off talking again about people who didn't support him during the beef with Kendrick with the lines, "You think I didn't see that you stayed silent? That's like you endorsing it all. May as well stand behind him. I stood beside you. Thought there was some good inside you. Situations like these, they force you to notice the difference." This could be aimed at DJ Khaled in particular, as he has a tendency to stay silent in these situations, and Drake also mentioned him by name earlier in the album. On the second verse, he seems to make yet another reference of Cole dropping out of the beef with the line, "I've seen goats act like sheeps, co-workers turn to enemies." Co-workers turning to enemies is again a reference to the several people that he's worked with turning against him, like Rick Ross and A$AP Rocky. Then he goes on to again mention people copping pleas with the lines, I don't want no Drake, my apologies, I'm tripping, you're top 3. My group chat was bumping those oppie guys, but not me. Like begging to get out a ticket, now they want to cop, please. Drake then mentions the allegations of inflated streaming numbers with the lines, my son is taking corner kicks in front of Luis Enrique at PSG and y'all are talking about inflating the numbers on DSPs and me having better perspective on life doing DMT. Nigga, KYSASAP, that's some shit that you could do for me. KYS means kill yourself and ASAP means as soon as possible, but also ASAP is a part of Rocky's rap name. So those lines could be aimed at both Kendrick and Rocky. The DMT reference though is a callback to the line in Kendrick's song Meet the Grams in which he recommends Drake to try ayahuasca. He then makes a reference to how people think the beef killed his career with the lines, reporting live from the scene where I wasn't supposed to be revived by the EMTs. Yeah, I did not break up a happy home, baby, you pulled up on me. Tell them why you really hate me and what year did she date me. If the ASAP line is about Rocky, then this line about dating would also make sense to be a reference to Rihanna and Rocky, as his relationship with her is the reason Drake has been dissing him. Drake then mentions again how he's been buying up stuff from other artists with the lines, I know niggas going crazy as I cop all the items you niggas put up for sale and start a museum in my house called Try Someone Else. That is a callback again to how he bought chains that Pharrell used to own, as well as buying one of Tupac's rings, and probably other things as well at this point. He then goes on to make a callback to Euphoria with the lines, the orders make their way through the proper chain of command, and if everything goes to plan, I will be making the name change from the boy to the man, but y'all just wouldn't understand. On Euphoria, Kendrick has the lines, I'm knowing they call you the boy, but where is the man, cause I ain't seen him yet. Drake often calls himself the boy, but with his lines in this song, he says he'll become the man if his plan works out. That plan is likely to leave UMG and become a billionaire, as the track Bees on the Table says. He then goes on to talk about his former friends with the lines, mistaking my sons for brothers, but it won't happen again. You better check your tone, I'm not one of y'all little friends. I got shots about to fly at some of y'all heads again. This could be aimed at people like LeBron or anyone else who appeared at the pop-out show, or someone like Khaled who didn't speak up on Drake's behalf. He then follows that up by saying he has more in store for them with the lines, man, shots about to fly even though some of my friends still talk about you guys like they leaning towards your side. I think karma's taking too long, an eye for both of your eyes, that'll show you love is blind for real. Eye for an eye is an idiom about retaliation, and in this line Drake is taking it a step further by saying he'll do more damage to his enemy than was done to him. Based on that, it's fair to say he might have some more songs he plans on putting out dissing Kendrick or his other opponents. Last but not least is the track Make Them Know. He starts the verse off with the lines, I tried and tried and tried till the R switched place with the I. I'll never forget that July, the worst that I felt in a while. If you replace the R and I in tried, it turns into tired. And July 2024 was when Kendrick released the music video for Not Like Us, which made the song even bigger, and I'm sure Drake got tired of hearing it. He then makes yet another reference to J. Cole and the apology with the lines, I still haven't lost any sleep and I definitely didn't cry. As I mentioned earlier, Cole apologized at Dreamville Fest, and he had said how dissing Kendrick made him lose sleep because he felt so bad about doing it. Unlike Cole, Drake clearly isn't feeling bad about dissing Kendrick or anyone else. He goes on to talk about the lawsuit against the UMG again and claimed that he'll win with the lines, pressure been getting applied and I know I've been bad with replies. The lawsuit I got is fried till the R switch place with the I. They're framing it as people retired, but we know what's the truth and not lie. And they're acting like we signed a deal when they pay for me wasting my time. And they're acting like I lost my appeal, but they're paying me for changing their mind. They got wind of the fact that I was hit and the whole world started to chime. Not scared of no suit or no tie, cause shit victory always been mine. If you replace the I and the R in fried, it makes fired, which is a reference to someone getting fired from UMG due to the lawsuit. Later, he takes another jab at Kendrick with the lines, How do they say they got classics if it's shit that you never revisited? And if that's the shit you revisited, then why am I boss of the business? Then Drake ends his verse with yet another reference to Kendrick and his albums with the lines, "These niggas recouping on 2012, they gotta do it in increments. What happened to Drake from 2009 when all of the moments was intimate? What happened to Drake with the innocence? I don't think we'll be seeing him again." Kendrick released his album Good Kid, Mad City in October 2012, which went multi-platinum and brought Kendrick Lamar to the mainstream. And in February 2009, Drake released his mixtape So Far Gone, which essentially did the same for him. And just like Good Kid is considered a classic album and Kendrick's best by many, So Far Gone is also considered one of Drake's best mixtapes and a classic. Back then, Drake hadn't had a bunch of rap beefs and been through the things that have changed him into this Iceman, as he's referring to himself now with this album, hence the ending the album with the line about not seeing that version of him again. The rap beefs and various other things he's gone through in his career so far have very likely caused a big change in him, understandably so. Also, the video for this sees Drake walking through a warehouse with a bot farm in it, which is giving a bunch of streams to Not Like Us, which of course is a reference to the allegations that the views for Not Like Us were artificially inflated. Some of the other music videos Drake released for the album also feature some visual shots at Kendrick and others, but as I said, this is focused on the lyrics of the album. If you want to see a separate video breaking down the music videos, let me know in the comment section. As you can see with this album, Drake had a lot to get off his chest, especially about the way his beef with Kendrick has gone, the lawsuit against UMG, and his feelings of disappointment and betrayal from his friends in the industry. The album has gotten some mixed reviews, and one of the negative things I've seen about it is that he was too focused on the beef. To that critique in particular, I asked the question, what did you expect, considering what happened? Anyway, that was my breakdown of Drake's plethora of responses on Iceman. What do you think about how he handled the situation, and what are your thoughts on the album overall? Personally, my favorite songs were mostly in the second half of the album, and I could do without tracks like Ran to Atlanta and Bees on the Table, while tracks like Firm Friends and Make Them Know are standouts to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and while you're at it, click the button to subscribe to the channel and check out the other videos on the channel where I detail the various rapper feuds Drake has, which led up to this album to begin with. And make sure to check out the links in the description below so you can follow on other platforms, join the Discord server, and everything else.